I think because I have a belief that there are no children, there are no problem children, there are children with problems. And that if children have a sense of worth, which you have to identify very early, let them identify the fact that they are worthy of who they are. Because when you are studying counseling and psychology, one of the basic needs of any individual is a need for love and affection. And so many children, especially when teachers in integrated schools were forced to teach children of color, and that was my experience in the school where I was, they didn't know who these children were. They'd never had the experience of working with children of color and didn't really understand how to make them feel important. I had one teacher one time, I think he said that these children he felt that these children can't learn, and so why teach them? But if a child has a sense of who he is and is loved, and then you meet him where he is in terms of his deficiency, start him. So many children can't read. And I had one child in an 8th grade English class, and his problem was that he couldn't read. And so when he was in competition with the other children in the class, when he was, this was two, but one in particular. This one was a black child who was really, I guess because of the fact that he couldn't read, he couldn't cope with the learning. And his defense was to be a bully, to be mad with the teachers, to act out in class. And while I was teaching, I was also a home study teacher. And so I asked the home study director if I could have the student as a home study student. He was also my counselee. And so I took him to and I got the approval. Took him to his house, and there was too much distraction. Tried to teach him in the library. He'd look up every time the door opened. So I asked if I could take him to my apartment, and they gave me permission to do it. And the way I taught him to read was, we had been through all the basic reading, the principles of learning to read, the phonetics and the sounds and the consonant blends and all those things. So when the paper would come to my house, when we'd get there after school, I'd say, oh, I can't call his name, I'd say, so-and-so, tell me what the Black Panthers did today. And he'd get to a word like confrontation, and he'd hesitate. I said, you're going to tell me that word because you know the syllables, you know the sounds of the letters, and you know where to break them up into syllables between the consonants. And that's how he learned to read, by reading something that was of interest to him.
That's such a great learning tool, or message.
Spot wouldn't do it for him. See Spot run would never do it for him.